Very good everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and I will be your captain for today's flight. In today's flight, we will actually fly the TFDi design MD-11F once again. Because we can, and because it's a cool aircraft. And today we're doing another real-world operated flight by FedEx. They use the MD-11F to fly from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport in France to London Stansted Airport in the United Kingdom. So we're going to fly over the canal to do this. And obviously we'll be using the MD-11F. We're using real-world time, real-world weather, the Aerosoft Simple Traffic Tool, and GSX. Now GSX apparently does not really recognize the TFDi design MD-11F as a cargo aircraft. So not all the options are available, unfortunately. Otherwise we could have apparently some cargo load options and everything. So we'll see how that's going to go down. So so today we'll just be carrying a lot of goods from Paris to London. We got some high-end electronics, 28,000 kilograms. Like we got in total like something like 90,000 kilograms or something that we're carrying with us, 19,321. So we got some high-end electronics, 28,000 kilograms, and medical equipment and supplies, 14,500, ventilators, MRI parts, COVID test kits, whatever. Automotive components, 12,000, luxury fashion samples, urgent legal documents, art and collectibles, so we got some artworks as well. Laboratory chemicals, perfume, cosmetics, fresh gourmet products, and some miscellaneous secured pallets with whatever, you know. So we'll be carrying a whole bunch of items from Paris to London. So let's hope for a good flight. Well, let's get out of that noisy environment. As you can hear, the ground power supply is extremely noisy. So let's fire up the aircraft. External power is available. We can turn that on. Our inertial reference system. Arm the emergency power. And for the lights, we can use logo lights, mirror lights, and maybe some overhead panel lights. Never hurt nobody. Let's just arm the emergency lights there as well. There. So the aircraft powering up, if you will. So we got a flight plan here, block fuel 19,165 kilograms. So we'll be landing quite heavy, I guess. Estimated zero fuel weight. Oh, we'll look at the LFP in a little bit. Estimated landing weight 219,730 kilograms. Let's see. So airtime 55 minutes from Paris Charles de Gaulle to London Stansted. Cruising altitude 24,000 feet. Cost index 200. And let's just set everything up. So we go to SMC 1. From here we can simply just send flight plan to SMC, and that will just be put in here. We do enter the flight number. We got the FDX 812. So this actually the original flight is FDX9 or something. Let's just keep 812 for now, doesn't matter too much. But it's a real world operated flight in any case. So flight level 240, we can enter it in cruise levels, and then we have cost index 200. So we'll put that there next to the CI. There we go. Oh, that's cost index 20. Let's not do that. Through temperature and wind. I believe we find us on our OSP. We can view it right here through Navigraph. So the temperature and wind would be 0 and then minus 16 for the wind component. So 0 slash minus 16. That should be good. We got a headwind of 16 knots. Right, so let's do initialize ILS. So the aircraft is actually still aligning itself. Let's see. So flight plan, we do have the flight plan in here, but we will need to set our departure and arrival as well. We can find those in our OSP. Very useful. So we got routing, departing runway 08 left with the OPALE 6 hotel. So SID 08 left, you always choose your runway first. And we get the OPALE 6 hotel, that will be one click down. We can just insert that will be into the flight plan. And then we go to the end of our flight plan, London Stansted. And we do the same, but here it's on the right side, star. And what are we getting? 04 with the BANVA 1 Lima. So ILS 04, we get the BANVA 1 Lima. So we're using the Microsoft Flight Simulator handcrafted airport scenery for London Stansted. So it should look somewhat more like the real deal. I guess we'll see when we get there. So we got the flight plan discontinuity here. I think we can just delete that. But I'm not sure if we can use the plan page yet. It looks like you can. And actually, there you go. So we can just delete that discontinuity there. Alright, let's quickly go through them, see if there's any other discontinuities. Maybe just one at the arrival. Does actually look like it. That looks very nice. Although this does look like a war zone. No clue what the hell it is I'm looking at now. But there might... That looks hurtful. What the hell is going on there? Okay, I guess we'll figure this out once we get there. What do you think? Laurel, yeah, we'll just keep it for now. At least we can get to take off. And we'll just work that out later. Okay, so flight plan and secondary. Well, if we're going to copy it, you know, let's just have a close look here. So we should be getting the BANVA 1 Lima arrival for 04. Let's have a look at the BANVA 1 Lima. BANVA, wait on. And there is our airport. We got the Parkway VOR. And then 04. Okay. Let's get the ILS chart for runway 04 as well, so we go to approach. And we'll just use this one, little pin in it, next to it. And then we can see what is expected of us. So we got waypoint, final fix 04. Now if we look here on the approach chart, or the arrival chart actually I should say. Nothing will see that. So basically after Brooklyn Park, yeah, so that's why maybe this looks a little bit funny. So far this is all looking fine. So just taking off. No, this is the other way around. This is actually our arrival, isn't it? No, no, this is departing. Unless I'm totally losing my mind here, which has been known to happen. Agopa, there's a discontinuity. OPALE. There, now we're going up again. Vaton, there you go. Yeah, so this definitely looks like an accident. We got Buster, Rhymes, Laurel. This never really happens, or sometimes. In this case, it looks absolutely horrible. However, we're not going to be flying this. What do you think? So let's see, there's Parkway VOR, and then there's Basta, and it's taking us to Laurel. So why is it going all the way up? I have no clue. We'll just get ourselves close. Maybe we can zoom out a little bit more. That looks absolutely weird. It just looks totally weird. So we got Basta to Laurel. And let's have a look, what does it look like here on the chart. So Vaton, That is Laurel. Where is Laurel? I believe this is Laurel. There's Buster. So it's making you do a little circle there, but it sort of butchers it. So maybe we would actually just fly to Brooklyn Park, ZOR, and then we just vector ourselves and just go straight to the airport. We would have to do this now, before we start flying, just so we can, so the SMS can anticipate and do the calculations accordingly. So let's see if we can do this. Can we break this? So that doesn't want us to fly the Laurel, right? Parkway, Brooklyn Park. I shall still play around with it. We can always reload it again. So we clear Barclay VOR. And we clear Boston. Laurel. And that looks a little bit more like how I would think it should look. Yeah. So maybe that bit there was something to really go around, but not really sure. But I don't mind, I don't care. Okay, flight plan discontinuity, we'll delete that. And now they're joined together for life. And then that's the go around procedure, I guess. I'm not too interested in that for now. So that should be our flight plan, so let's increase a little bit. Maybe we do need to hook up some points. It's a really weird departure, man. So we're getting departure to the south. Yesterday we got a totally different one, but maybe it has something to do with the time. It was created by Simris. And well, that sometimes does make really weird flight plans, but usually it's just really nice, you know. So let's see, flight plan. You could just do a direct if you want to. We can also fly the entire soccer. Zoom out a little bit more. So OPALE. So after I go, probably need to go to OPALE. Oh, I guess you could sort of hook them up, but maybe just do a direct. What do you think? Let's just leave it like this for now, and then we'll have the queue here. I think, yeah, that's what I'll do. Alright, so we carry on. And also get the, yeah, as I said, so the GSX does not recognize the the MD-11 as a freighter plane. So just do request warning. So there should be 0 passengers. I set it, the flight plan for 0 passengers and 90,000 kilograms of cargo. So I guess for now we just copy the secondary then, or we copy the primary, so we do copy active, that will be on the secondary page, and we need to open our little door to the left, services, and it should be cargo main. So the inner B pages will be our weight page. Fortunately, we can just get it through here, so we go to payload, set payload, payload is set, and then from this page we can just set payload or fuel, and that will be set here in our FMC. So block fuel 19.2, that's correct. And for the rest, I'm good. Maximum zero fuel weight 204.7.
Do you want to board crew?
Yeah, sure.
Crew bus is coming.
Okay. Oh, what's happening? Let's see what's going to happen. Hopefully we get this sucker off the ground. Should be quite heavy when we touch down. It's a very short flight. And it's all about the learning and having some fun, so see. So finally the approach, takeoff approach page is for our performance. Runway 08 left. Got the weather information, takeoff weight. Let's calculate it for you. So we have 149 V1, rotate 154 V2 164, flex temperature 56, flaps 25. We start with the flex temperature 56. We're telling the engine it's 56 degrees outside. Then we have flaps 25. And the speeds, we got 149er, 154, 164. So 149er, 154. We're going to rotate, and 164 is our V2 speed. The slope and width, you can find this here as well. So the slope, the runway is 0.1, and the wind 6 knots. So 0.1 and 6 knots. The outside air temperature finally will be 23, and QNH is 1017. But for now we just need 23, and we have to put the C there for Celsius, otherwise it gets upset with us. Okay, so everything here is really set up now. The cargo loading is still in progress. What can we do in the meantime? So we've set up most of the things. We do still have this funny looking departure. Just check if we really have the correct departure. So we have flight plan from runway 08 left, SID 08 left, and we got the, I think I made a mistake. Let's check again. We should have the OPALE dispatch, OPALE 6 Hotel, and that is not OPALE. So we go all the way to O. Oh man, look at all these departures here at Paris. So yeah, good to really double check. Obviously when you get paid to do this, you would triple check, I guess. But look at that list, man. It's all these departures for Paris. Never seen a list that long, really. So where is Uncle Opal? That was Opal 6 Hotel, I believe. OPALE 6 Hotel. That should look a lot better. Opal 6 Hotel, 08 left, insert. Well, that's looking a lot more logical, what do you think? Now, let's just double check for our arrival now. Oops. Just to see if we're doing fine here. I think we choose runway 04 here, we go start. So ILS 04. We should have the BANVA 1 Lima. And that is, looks to be selected, BANVA 1 Lima. We're not going to insert it because we already actually changed it a little bit, so we'll just keep it like this. So now our flight plan, maybe we can also zoom out a little bit so we can also monitor right there. Basically, they should all connect. There you go, this looks a lot better. Yeah, we'll do this. Very nice. Okay. So it's on cage, or cage. I believe you caged. It looks like, I would say on cage. I don't know. When it's stuck, I would figure it's a cage, right? But it's semantics. It's just semantics, Arkady. Okay, plan. So we go back to map, and we'll set the cruising altitude, flight over 240. All the loading is still in progress. And we'll also get some lights running here so we can see what we're ramping up. And I suggest we start our APU. The APU is starting up. We should have the fuel then, 666, so there's 19.2. Got 19.150. And let's also turn on the beacon. Although actually, maybe it's a little bit early, it's actually still loading, but alright. Oh, don't give me that. So performance, see QNH 1017. 1017. So to look at the progress outside, that's our beautiful MD-11 freight variant. We're parked here at the cargo ramp, the Paris Charles de Gaulle. So as I said, there's also some artwork that we're carrying with us, and some cosmetics, and even some documents, some legal documents, all kinds of stuff. And it all amounts up to about 90,000 kilograms. So I'm expecting the aircraft to be quite heavy when we land at Stansted airport. And there's also, as I said, some artwork, so we really should try and have a decent touchdown, and also actually have a decent taxi. And the taxiing in this aircraft is hell, which is just how it is. If you don't have the tiller installed, then it's hell. Okay, what else can we do? 250, we have that. We have our V speeds. I believe once the APU is running, it's already turning on. We will have to start the APU bleed, or turn on the APU bleed, and then we can disconnect the external power. And we disconnect the ground power unit. But sleepy wheel chocks in place for a little bit while they're, still working. Progress 80%. Now we should get ready to taxi. Taxi is really simple. We're very close, 08 left. So here we are, apron mic, the cargo dock. So push back with the nose to the right. So we just follow uniform, take a right onto Tango 1, I guess, and that should take us to, uniform Tango 2, and that should take us to Tango 1, and that will take us to 08 left. So quite straightforward, just push back, nose to the right. So this is our departure, a left turn after takeoff. Let's start make the engine ignition on as well. Anything else we can do up here? Don't believe we can at the moment. Yeah, we can arm the profile and nav and SMS speed. The runway heading. You're right 4 degrees. Alright. Loading 93%. Let's set the parking brake. And we set up the center pedestal. The mic 1, VHF 1 and 2 for the pilot monitoring, and we'll give ourselves a little clock, 31, 21. And the TCAS should be on standby. Yeah, that's on standby. Cool, always excited to fly this airplane. And it just looks damn pretty. And she flies it really nice. Yesterday we had a flight as well. But yeah, the nose was supposed to be quite high on the final approach. It was a little bit weird. Although most of my approaches with the aircraft basically have been improving quite a lot. But yesterday it felt a little bit funny. But we managed to set it down. We might have broken an artwork or two. should be ready. Check the GSX the GSX thingy. Boarding completed, so we prepare for pushback and departure. And then we should get the tug that will attach now. We've already set our parking brakes. Let's set our flaps, 25. We use the dial flap system. I don't know, whoever came up with that name must have been from the 1950s and had a really cool sense of humor.
Hello, Captain.
I would just consider to make some fake telephone number, put it in the yellow pages, just so that there is a company called Dial Flat, you know, just to see if it generates any callers. And then when they call you, just to hear a little joke or something. Okay, so that's been set as well. The trim, I'm not sure if we can set the trim now. I don't think we'll have enough hydraulics, so we'll just wait for that until at least one of two engines are started. I'm not sure which of the engines actually provides the hydraulics for the trim. Maybe all of them do. I have not really looked into those specifics. But I believe we usually have two engines, but we'll see. It should work. So we set pushback with the nose to the right, and from here it's pretty straightforward to 08 left, around there, I believe. Maybe, yeah, I think it's right there. We taxi out of here, take a right, and then we get ourselves onto the runway. So nose to the right, and tail to the left, please.
Release parking brake.
You got it. Parking brake released, and we should be able to start our engine. Oh, we forgot the chokes.
Release parking brake.
Nice that it's not yet pushing us.
Starting push. All engines clear.
There we go, starting push. Engine number 3. So what was our trim? 5.2. Let's see with one engine, can we set the trim? Yes, we can. So 5.2 it is. It's just not turning green yet. This area here there should be a little green area, but that will be later when we are fully pressurized. Or the hydraulics are fully pressurized, I guess. Engine number 2. And wait for the M2 percentage to reach around 15. Parking brake set. Some fuel in there. Oh look, it put us on the grass. Ah, that's so stupid, man. I mean, we're carrying expensive goods, you know. Don't put us on the grass. That is engine number 2. EGT is still rising, but I think we can safely start engine number 1 now. Alright, we have 3 running engines, let's confirm.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So let them disconnect. But as you can see, they put us on the grass. Sometimes I check and I notice, and I immediately stop. Today I didn't check, and today I should have checked, because as you can see, GSX put our airplane right onto the grass. It's a little bit inconsiderate. You know, told you we have some expensive goods that we're carrying, some important goods too.
Docking.
We can set our flaps now to 25 using the dial flap system. And let's also set the auto brake to take off and we'll arm the ground spoiler.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Not on head at her. We can confirm back, yes, we do see you. Brakes released? No. First turn on the taxi lights. That should be it. Let's release the brakes. And away we go. Have a little chest blast. Just to get us off the grass there. Look at that. What is this thing? Oh, that's already gone. Okay. And we'll take a right turn here. Just mind our speed a little bit. You do want to oversteer a little bit, right? But this aircraft very easily oversteers and near to impossible to just get out of it. This is looking okay. Just it's losing a lot of speed. So do you think April Fool's Day, maybe some pilots just make circles here on the roundabout? And then the British Airways pilots are going the other direction. Alright, let's turn on the landing lights. switches, so get ourselves onto the runway. TKS on. Okay. So let's start the timer. And press the auto flight to arm the auto thrust system. And let's get going, man. Auto thrust system active. I'm looking to accelerate. So V1 speed 136 I believe, and then rotate, I'm not sure, we'll see. And there she already goes. Okay, gear up. Autopilot on. AP1, pitch, nav1, takeoff slots 24,000. Transition altitude 5,000 feet. Okay, so the nose coming down a little bit, so we can accelerate. Flaps up. Do still have these flaps out. Static by for a left turn. Get back to the flight deck and keep a monitoring everything, so these flaps can be retracted as well. It's a little bit high, 254. Currently our basically final approach speed will be 162 knots, but this number probably is going to go down. Flight plan, on our way to OPALE. In OPALE it's 64.5 miles out. We should reach our top of climb well before that. We've passed 5,000 feet, so we go to standard barometric pressure 1013. Feet, and nose coming down a little bit too. You can turn off the landing lights. And I guess you can also turn off the seatbelt sign and put it to auto. Now, performance page. We're now on our way to our cruising altitude. Aircraft, really. Right, let's go back inside. So top of climb coming up. 10,000 miles to go, 9,000 miles, feet. Looked like the screen may have temporarily lost the connection, but could also be something else, not so sure. Looks like we're still there. And if you do not hear me, or if you do not see me, let me know. climb, I think in about 5 minutes or so. Have a look. That's right in front of us. We're 21,000 feet. And then our top of descent will not be very long after that. We'll just be flying over the canal really. So, not quite yet, but you can see there in front of us. $22,000 feet coming up. Well, do we have anything on the performance page yet? Still to top of climb. That'll change in a little bit. And then we'll start preparing for our descent. We can zoom out and see there's a little arrow there. So at on-dock, that will be our top of descent already. Altitude, so 1,000 feet to go. So as I said, this is a real-world flight by FedEx using the MD-11. One of the few MD-11s that are actually still flying from Paris to London, Stansted. And she's filled to the brim with all kinds of things. Okay, here's our home link, 24,000 feet. And then we have top of descent, 12 minutes, look at that. So 12 minutes, 103 nautical miles. So a couple of things we will need to know before we start descending. Probably like this, stand by 1 second. 9 more minutes to stop descent, 78 nautical miles. So I was runway 04, 042 degrees, 110.5. So 110.5 and 042 degrees. My SED, so we have that 2,500, 6.6 nautical miles from the localizer, 2,500. We will dial this in as well. And then the minimum, we'll look at that. You can take 100 feet, should be okay. Complete by default, it's always at 100. So there's the canal coming up. Not expecting any weather, but we can always check. So 7 minutes to descending. Most of it's really been set up. If we go to the approach page, we will see 162 for the approach page. Has a flat setting of 60 degrees. Elevation 332 feet, and runway length 10,000. that's the wrong button. Okay, so what we're looking at, 5 miles, and we should start descending. So we just crossed the canal. Miles. Okay, so you're at top of descent. Aircraft starts to descend now. At least it's turning into descent mode. You can see the vertical deviation indicator there. It's now aiming for 20,000 feet. Or flight level 200. So transition altitude 6,000. Where did we see that performance page? 6,000 feet. Go on our way to May, and then at May we should be flight level 200. So that looks easy enough. That's some traffic, but not top of edge. Alright, so let's prepare a little bit. Set the auto brakes to medium. We're now 27 minutes into the flight, time is 18:11 Zulu. We're expected to touch down 18:26. That's in about 14 minutes. Like we might be a little bit high here. Well, that's already compensating a little bit. The view message. Okay. Max 0 fuel weight 204.7. Hopefully we're not messing things up. Max landing weight. Check confirm V speed. I think that's an old message. speed's still quite high, I guess. Let's get the speed brakes out. Then her speed brakes is not too big. Let's hope they do their job. 10 more minutes to touchdown. Remove drag, really? Okay. $10,000 feet. Turn on the landing lights. Okay, so holding speed 250, that's okay. So now we're on the way to Brookman I think, Brookman's Park. The famous long VOR. Not that famous, but I pronounced the name correctly. But look, now I want to know. Yeah, Parkway, Brookman's Park. Let's have one last weather check, see what is the QNH. 04. QNH is 1019. Add drag. Okay. So transition out to 6,000 feet. Then we'll switch to 1019 on the altimeter. I can turn off the weather. On the way to Brookman's Park, and that is 250 knots. 25 miles from the runway. Might be like that, not totally sure. Speed brake release. Go on, retracted. Air track. No air track. So what did the weather say? Wind 080, 6 knots with 5 knots headwind. That's okay, that's decent. Final approach speed 162. Okay, let's go 1019. We're below the glide slope. We still have our speed brakes out. The speed should be 250 and then 1905, 167, 162. Brooklyn Spark ground to Charlie Foxtrot 04, speed 195.
Stabilizer motion.
40 nautical miles from the runway. Turn on the runway, turn off lights as well. And let's see if we can arm the approach. Remove brake. Speed brake retracted. Touchdown in 5 minutes.
Altitude.
So the localizer and the glide slope are armed, not yet captured, so we're not captured with localized. So turn left here at the Charlie Foxtrot 04, add brake, so let's do that immediately. Not sure if it took, no. Adding drag, speed brake out. See if we can go flat. Turning now, localizer capture. There's a runway. Five flaps 25. Retract speed brake. Arm speed brake. Glide slope capture. Flaps 28. Range 6 nautical miles.
Stabilizer motion.
Flaps 35.
Landing gear.
Gears coming.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Range 4.4 miles. One 162. Flaps full.
Stabilizer motion.
Altitude 1300 feet. So it looks like we're fully configured now. The aircraft is showing a little bit high, even though it's actually like the glide slope, but that is
1,000.
1,000. So let's turn off the autopilot.
Autopilot.
Glide slope.
Now it's actually low again.
Glide slope.
Because it goes so fast.
Sink rate.
400.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide
300.
slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide
Okay, so
slope.
it is actually saying we're
Glide slope.
high or low actually.
Approaching minimum.
Okay.
Minimum 100. 50. 40.
I don't.
20. 10.
Whoops. That is not a soft touchdown and we're actually bouncing. That was good. No, main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Welcome to Stansted. Reversal. We'll exit here to the right. It was a bit of a messy approach, and I don't know if you can see, if we look ahead, but I'm not going to drive there. If you see the terrain, we are definitely not going to drive onto that. Because that would probably kill the aircraft. So that's interesting. I'm not sure if you can see from home. Set parking brake. So that looks rather steep and totally unnatural. Not really sure what went wrong here. Earlier I was just saying we're using the Microsoft Flight Simulator handcrafted airport for London Stansted. And you're looking at the rest, it looks very nice for sure, look at that. And then look at those poor fire trucks there. So that's it. We've landed, here we are. Thank you very much for checking, everybody, and I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.